Good morning. I have had a hell of a crazy time the past couple days. So, my last video, I said I was going to pull an all nighter to try to reset my schedule. Yeah, it turns out that doesn't really work that well. So, I pulled the all nighter, and then I did go to sleep earlier. I passed out around 10 o'clock, but then I woke up at 2, 3 in the morning, completely wired. So, I just went right back and started playing games and shit again. And I was thinking though, like, okay, but throughout the day, then I'm gonna get back to work and get some stuff done. But then, I guess because I got such weird, shitty sleep, I pass out again at 1 or 2 in the afternoon, and then I slept for like 12, 13 hours straight. So this morning, I wake up at 3, 4 in the morning, and I've had a nice full rest, and so I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll consider this like a day where I've just had a normal day and I'm waking up nice and early. And so I got right to work at 3, 4 in the morning. So I've been working ever since then. And I figured, like, okay, this will count as the work I was planning to do tomorrow, since I stay up late into the early morning hours, oftentimes working anyway. So here's my log for yesterday slash today. And then later tonight, as I will continue working after this for today, that'll be today's proper video. Anyway, okay, so yeah, let's take a look at what I did here. So the bright sunlight might be a little tough to see, but basically, most of what I did was getting really a completely fully featured and finished template for all the artwork for how the second act is going to work. So as you can see, I actually made a couple prototype rooms just to make sure that everything can work out properly. Amanda sent me the modular roof pieces, and that's what I used to set this up. And then what was the other thing? Oh yes, a gate, right? She also sent me this gate so we could close the front area. Now, right now this isn't working super well because there is, because of the perspective, this weird gap at the bottom here, and also I'm not a huge fan of how it overlaps with the walls. So I sent her a message about that because we had, with the other gates we had in previous levels, like for example in the first level here, see this piece is actually, you can see like it's got some of the wall attached to it, so that way it covers the whole thing along the ground as well as on top. So I just sent her a message about that, saying we should probably do the same thing here to fix that up. And the roof is pretty good. Everything, I mean, it worked even better than I thought it would, honestly. I think it looks solid. The only problem is I'm missing an inner corner piece. Like, we have these outer corners, but the inner corners here are a little bit different. So I spliced together, I kind of faked it myself and used a mask to make one. It looks like there's a lot of glare on my monitor right now, so you might not be able to see that well, but you can see like the seam where the two sprites overlap with each other. And that's always been somewhat of a problem with some stuff. In the first act, there's a lot of overlap like that, but it doesn't matter as much because the art of the roofing, it's very like rigid and bumpy. And so when they overlap, you can't really notice where the seam is. But on this one, I guess because it's so simple and flat, it's a little more obvious. So I came up with this little, you probably couldn't even see it here, but which is exactly the intention. I made a little smudge piece of art to cover up the seam. So if I zoom in here again, you'll see it more easily. Yeah, there you go. And then I just put this little smudge over top, and it just looks like it's part of the rest of the art, so it works pretty well. So I'll probably do that to fix those up. But with the corner piece, I figured it's a lot easier rather than using a smudge to fix that. And I think it'll, especially this part right here, I think it'll make way more sense to just have a properly done inner corner piece. So I asked Amanda to take a look at making one of those. And finally, I set up also this door here. Now, oh, right, so there's another thing we're missing here with this front door. You can see this little piece right here. This is a leftover from the doors in the first act, where when you break through the door, there's like a locked version of the door that closes behind you since the door's locked behind you. So that's what this leftover is right here. So that's what we're missing here. We don't have a locked version for this door. So I passed that to her as well. I think I suggested something like a chain link fence that comes down maybe, or also I was thinking of, you know, when you go to the mall and stores are closing up, they have that big, like sometimes metallic crinkling screen that they pull across the store. I don't know how you'd call it. Not crinkling, but like it collapses. It like collapses onto itself, right? And you can stretch it out. Anyway, so something like that to do the locked door aspect of this. And then I was just setting up the door properly. So now it actually highlights correctly and it uses its own unique debris when you break through it. And one other problem that I had as well is when you're smashing through this door here, in the previous act, let me show you real quick. You can see you can't see the front door, you only see the inside door. And so the slow-mo would happen as you're smashing through this door here, which works perfectly since you can have, right, like you have all this vision here and whatever, so that's fine. But here now, it's kind of weird to do the slow-mo right away because you're here. And so the slow-mo is happening the whole time you're crossing over this whole thing. So it's a little awkward and a little too slow. So I adjusted it so that for this door specifically, it lets you at the normal speed just fly past most of this, and then the slow-mo happens as you're breaking through here. So I'll show you now how this all comes together. Right, so it's kind of a subtle difference, but you can see the slow-mo and the debris really don't pop off until you're already right at the edge of that covering. But yeah, it's pretty sweet. The overall feeling of it too is really cool, I think. It's a very, very big change from the first act and the whole traditional Japanese stuff. This one looks a lot more like, a lot more gangsta, a lot more hip-hop, which I'm pretty excited for. I can't wait to make the music for this act in the game too. It's gonna be sick. Oh, that needs to be stretched out a bit, eh? This ledge. That should go a bit further past that, I think. It's a little bit of unevenness with the symmetry of this, but that's okay. Sometimes this is the kind of stuff where you have to decide, like, how worth it is it for me to obsess over this, because 99% of players will never even notice these things. Hell, even the seams I was talking about on the roofing, like, even that, I bet if I just left it the way it is, only a handful of people would really be noticing stuff like that. But I do feel like when you do notice it, it looks very cheap and low quality, so I do want to try to touch up wherever we can on things like that. I feel like this is one of those budget saving things where normally if I had like a huge team and dedicated artists and all that kind of stuff, I could easily just be like, okay, someone's job is to make all these roofings like custom for each level, and then that way we don't have to do any kind of like modular and like fixing overlapping sprites and all this kind of stuff. But when you got a budget, limited time, tiny team, limited money, gotta find places to save up. So anyway, yeah, it's pretty sweet. This thing is modular too. Working nicely. The only thing is, oh yeah, one other thing I noticed as well that I was looking at is the gap between these doors. So right now you can see there's some weird overlap here. That's because I moved these rooms up and down a bit. So that's why they're overlapping, because I noticed that this roof lining, which as you can see currently connects both the rooms, but typically each room has its own roof lining, and these ones were double the thickness compared to the ones in the first act. So, and also the walls are a bit higher in these rooms than the walls in the first act. So when you combine all that together, there was like a massive gap between the two doors. It was like this, which looks pretty stupid when you're dashing through it. It feels like there's almost a whole hallway there or something. So yeah, so I moved them up and down to imitate like cutting the thickness of these in half, and yeah, and to imitate like the size of the walls a little bit. So that's something we'll have to adjust in the final version too. And finally, the last and only thing. So I'm gonna let Amanda catch up on all those other things I requested, and then once she's done that, the last thing I'm gonna show her is this idea I had for making the building look a lot taller, which I showed in the previous video already too. There's nothing really new here, but combining it with all the other new stuff I did today, just showing that it still works pretty nicely. See, it fades out when you do this. Okay, I need to fix that though. That shouldn't happen. Oh, I know why that is too. Anyway. But yeah. This is just a crappy copy of this thing too. Of course, we need like a proper one, but I think it'll look really cool. Just give it that one more touch to make for a unique setting. Okay. And while I'm at it, since I just noticed that, let me very quickly... Oh, one other thing I did today as well is I made it so on doors, such as especially these double-sided ones before, it would only break the debris and show some like dust and smoke popping out on the opposite end, the one that you're coming out of. And I made it today so that the dust appears on both sides, so that it helps to cover up the fact that this door technically just pops out of existence when you dash through them. Okay, so quick fix for this. Sprite fade trigger. I just need to make it so that... yes, this is kind of tricky. So when I exit the trigger, it's like forcing it to show the building again, but I don't want it to do that if... Okay, I know what to do. Yeah, I think this should be good. Grab my player controller and see if... Actually, I don't even need to... Let's do it here. Yeah, I don't have to check if it's null. It should be okay. And then just check if player control is no, I want to know if it's looking far. Okay, I might have to actually grab this off of the camera instead. Wait, but how does the camera... look further? That's what I wanted to know. Okay. Is showing map? Okay, okay. So it all comes from the camera. So, is showing map, and I need a bool is looking further. Okay. And then here, camera.main.get component, camera track player, get camera not equal to null. And camera dot is looking further or is showing map. Then do not show the building. Let's quickly test that out. Yeah, there you go. Now it's not fading back in when I step out of the trigger. It's working correctly. Nice. Alright, doing good. That's it. That's it. That's everything I got done. Plan for today is to get a basic prototype done for the 3rd level, which will feature the new dashing enemy guys, the Jazzy Swordsmen, as I call them. So yeah, guess I'm gonna get back to it. I gotta hit the gym after I post this video too. Been slacking on that for the past several days. And as for my whole routine and schedule, I don't know, man. I'm starting to think. I was thinking about this a couple of videos ago too, where maybe I'm just not meant for a routine. Maybe I'm just a person where I'm just too wacky and all over the place, and maybe I'm just built to stay up till 5 in the morning doing stupid shit. I don't know. Maybe if I just don't. And I was thinking about that a lot over the past like 24 hours or so too. Just like, what if I just fucking do whatever? You know, I mean, that's what I'm doing right now. And just stop obsessing and trying so hard to do everything in like some perfect way with some exact routine, and just fucking, as long as I have my priorities in check, I'm getting done what needs to get done. Maybe things will just work themselves out. I don't know, or maybe not. But like I said, I also don't even know exactly how to do that, because I feel the pressure to want to do things a certain way. There's just not enough hours in the day, man. I want to do like minimum 8 hours of work on this, and then minimum 8 hours of questing in Azeroth, bro. but I can't do that realistically. Alright. Whatever, I'll figure it out. I'm gonna hit the gym, get some food and stuff, and get the prototype for the next level done. Peace. See you tonight.